Am I sending spam? Everyone, Leo Notenboom here for askleo.com. Here's a question I got. I'm a musician. Every couple of weeks or so, I will sit down and send a large number of emails, on average 150 to 200, to radio stations, magazines, etc., in order to promote my music. My email will usually consist of an attached MP3 and/or links to YouTube videos, along with a bio description about myself and my music. Though I've had many responses through email, there are still several that have never replied. Suddenly occurred to me, as well as not being interested in the music I'm sending them, can't please everyone, could some of my emails be getting marked as spam? I use a Hotmail account, which I know you say is bad, but I fear that suddenly changing my email will result in a loss of business. I used to send each one individually, personalizing each one, but since my contact list has grown, there are not enough hours in the day to do this, so I use BCC and send them all in one go. My question is, do my infrequent emails qualify as spam? Despite the fact that they are spread out over numerous weeks, do the large quantities mean that only a certain number are getting through? The short answer is absolutely yes. It is very likely that your emails are being delivered directly into many spam folders. There are several things that could contribute to this. I'll review what I think those are and what I recommend you do instead. While it varies in detail, the formal definition of spam is something along the lines of unsolicited commercial email. The informal definition is more like any email I didn't ask for and don't want. Did your recipients ask for or formally agree to receive the email? No. Then it's unsolicited. For many, that alone is enough to qualify as sending spam. Is it promoting your work or business? Well, that makes it commercial. So, yeah, sorry to break it to you, but according to at least one definition, you are indeed sending spam. If anything is surprising to me, it's simply that some of it makes it through at all. Now, spam filters don't really know about things like intent or what it means to be commercial. Let's face it, we all get a lot of email that we don't explicitly ask for, and some of it's actually kind of valuable. Clearly, spam filters do a pretty good job of separating wheat from chaff. The most common technique spam filters use is to evaluate incoming email by comparing it to the characteristics of email that people have explicitly marked as spam. The filters try to determine whether or not messages that thus look like previously identified spam should be sent directly to the spam folder. So, besides being unsolicited, what you describe has at least 3 characteristics commonly associated with sending spam. Strike 1, free email. Hotmail has a very bad reputation for sending spam. Not that Hotmail itself sends spam, but spammers often use Hotmail accounts, often compromised accounts, to send lots and lots of spam. In fact, Hotmail just has a generally bad reputation, which is why I still strongly recommend you never use Hotmail for business. When it comes to running a business, I recommend avoiding free email accounts altogether. They bring with them both a reputation for sending spam and a lack of respectability in the minds of many of your customers and prospects. My suggestion is that you get your own domain name. You can have it serviced by a free service. I'd still avoid Outlook.com, Hotmail's successor. But for example, all my askleo.com email used to be processed by Gmail. With your own domain name, you're also free to change who services it and how at any time in the future. Some time ago, I switched from using Gmail to using Fastmail to process my askleo.com email. I understand your concern about losing customers. The solution here is actually pretty simple. Once it's set up, start using your new email address exclusively and have your old Hotmail address forwarded to or picked up by your new email address. Strike 2, attachments. In my opinion, attachments are a very bad idea when trying to reach out to prospective customers. Not only are attachments yet another characteristic of spam, but they can end up taking time and disk space away from the very people you're hoping to engage in a positive way. Instead, put the file on the internet somewhere and include a link to the file. One simple solution might be to use Dropbox. After installing Dropbox, copy your MP3 file to one of your Dropbox folders and then generate a shareable link from Dropbox. On the other hand, since you're getting your own domain for your email, right, you could just set up a website, store the MP3s you want to send out on that site, and then link to those MP3 files in your email. Or, for the MP3s, if you want some visibility, you might consider a sharing service like SoundCloud. Upload the file there and share a link to it with anyone. Strike 3. Sending many at once. Honestly, I'm surprised that you can send to 150 to 200 people at once. Most free email services restrict the number of recipients on a single message to something like 10. Why? Because sending to lots of people at once like that, especially using BCC, is exactly what spammers do. In other words, it's another thing that makes it look like you're sending spam. Yeah, sending 150 to 200 individual messages is probably better, but as you've experienced, it's also a big pain in your email assets. Fortunately, there's software for this. The best approach to what you're doing is exactly what I do. It works like this. Get an account at an email service provider like Aweber. They are specifically designed for sending broadcast messages to large numbers of recipients. Each week, I send over 23,000 copies of my newsletter using Aweber. Ask your stations and recipients to sign up. This is analogous to signing up for my newsletter. It means that they proactively ask for your mailings and confirm that they want it. Then, you send out your messages using Aweber, and a significantly higher percentage of them land in your recipients' inboxes. It really is one of the best ways to manage your marketing message. In fact, since they ask to get your email, these people are, by far, your best prospects. And you're not sending them spam. But, I can hear you sputtering. Why would they ask to get my email? Well, indeed. If they don't want it, then sending it to them anyway is, once again, the very definition of spam. You need to give them a reason. In your business, I don't know what that is, but in general, it boils down to making your messages valuable to them. Make it something that they would want. Not something you want them to want, but something that they independently would actually want to get. Failing that, well, the second best solution is to use a less rigorous email service provider, one that doesn't require the double opt-in confirmation step. Some providers will let you do this, or you might set up a Google group or a groups.io group for the purpose. What's important is that you use a service specifically designed to send broadcast email. And yeah, without that confirmation step, you technically are still sending spam. Your deliverability, the measure of how many messages actually make it into the inbox, will suffer as a result. So, do this. Use an email address on your own domain, send links rather than attachments, and use a tool for sending bulk email, ideally one where your subscribers asked to get on your list and confirmed it. This will be better than sending emails with attachments to lots of BCC'd recipients directly from your Hotmail account. That's just wrong. For updates, for comments, for links related to this topic and more, visit askleo.com/18468. I'm Leo Notenboom, and this is askleo.com. Thanks for watching.